大家好，我是黑桐谷歌，欢迎观看我们这一期的地平线西之绝境。上一集我们是破坏了天空部族的城墙，逼他们的首领特可泰派人参加库尔特拉元帅选拔。我们现在就是来找这个酋长赫卡罗来汇报这件事情。
Let her pass. Outlander, Chief Hikaro and Marshal Katalo await you within.
The cool route should be starting soon. Once it's done, I'll be able to access the chamber below Hikaro's throne. And ether. It's another part of the ruins, turned into a fighting ring.
Look at them all. They know a battle is coming.
Regala can try all she likes. We'll crush her.
I hope you're right, Marshal. Aloy. It seems you've had to move mountains to bring the Sky Clan to heel. Literally.
Katalo helped.
Yes. Takote reprimanded for all the clan to see. You both served well. But now the cool route is at hand. Some have come to compete, others to bear witness. They know Regala will come from you.
I'll do whatever it takes to hold up my end, as long as you remember yours. So what's the plan?
Katalo.
There are only two viable ways to attack the arena. Through the throne room you just passed, and by the trail on the north end. We've set up barricades at both. But if Regala means to assault the cool route with machines, she will have to attack by the trail.
You will join our defenders there. Hold the line, and I'll have my marshals. You will be free of my service and receive your reward. Make whatever preparations you must. Once the cool route begins, you must see it through.
这里又是有一些情报可以问。没想到这个博物馆的后院还有这么个竞技场。
It's all part of the same ancient structure?
Yes. Here the land remembers the sacrifice of the 10. Their deeds commemorated for eternity.
Sacrifice?
The visions tell us that on the ground below, they gave their lives in a fight against machines. We honored them by holding the cool route where they fell.
I know where I'll be. What about you two?
I will be here with the chief, where I belong. Should the fight reach us, we will take the blood owed for our fallen.
If it comes to that, the defenses will hold.
Let's get this over with.
Good. You'll find Dekka at the north barricade with the rest of our defenders. Strike true as the 10. I'll see you when this is done. There's armor in that chest. Take it. It might prove useful.
赫卡罗这里给我们送了一套新装备啊，这个是蓝色品质的装备啊，比我们现在穿的要好啊。其实我们这个穿的是很烂的，但是呢，不好看，我觉得不好看。现阶段没有什么好看的衣服，虽然有墙吧，但是呢，就还是一直穿着默认初始的。因为这个打法上的话，这个游戏我觉得真的不难，能跑能跳能躲能爬，敌人又有弱点啊，规划好的话，其实受不到多少伤害。再加上我们的那个坚毅的那个大招技能非常的强，根本用不着装备上有多好看，装备有多强，只要好看就行了。啊，我们在前往这个防卫线那里的时候，遇到了天空部族的特卡泰啊，就是他们的首领。
What an honor. Easterner.
Didn't think the Sky Commander himself would be joining us today.
If there's a chance my challengers will be facing Regala, it is only right their commander join in their fate.
Or maybe you need to save face after what happened at the Bulwark.
Careful now. Sometimes sharp wits bring out sharp spears.
I'd save my spear for Regala's troops, if I were you.
这里防卫前线有多道木质围栏，严防死守。我这里的战斗呢，其实主要就是给我们爽的，啊，从这个大门旁边的这个梯子爬上去。
Focus on the machines. Take them down. And Regala's forces become no different from our own.
Yes, Chaplain.
Watch each other's backs. Dismissed.
他们进的都是军礼，应该就是从那个军事博物馆学的。
Our soldiers are ready. They will defend the cool route from below, but from above.
Not bad. Where did you get it?
One of our squads ripped it off a fallen machine. The honor is yours. Regala may have her tricks, but you will show her our teeth.
Dunno! The cool route is upon us! Our struggle demands new blood! New leaders! Release the quarry! Challengers, approach! All who take down a machine shall be named Marshal. Remember the 10. Strike from the air as they did and seize your glory.
Hold them
这段就是给我们爽
back.
的，
Defend the cool
不用管
route.
什么技巧，爽就完事儿了。
don't know.
Hold the defenses! Go!
好家伙，直捣黄龙！看来这个元帅我当定了。又是这个萌摇者，我们之前已经对付过他，知道他的弱点是胸口的冷冻罐。在打出一波冷冻罐之后呢，再对他身上用这个冷冻液，或者说是这个其他的方式再输出，拆掉他身上的其他部件。他的这个第一个阶段呢是冷冻模式啊，二阶段以后才是这个酸液模式。但其实如果能在他冷冻阶段的时候就能对他的这个储液罐造成足够的伤害，进入冰冻的话，其实会好打很多。但是呢，这个最高难度下的话，这个造成的这个蓄积伤害还是比较困难的。之前的那场战斗呢，我们没有用我们的这个大招技能，就是留在这里用的。其实没有的话也没关系，因为它的输出虽然说伤害高，但是呢频率不高，所以呢一般它一次攻击之后，你血量都能恢复回来。这就算是你硬扛着把这个血量消耗完，这个补给消耗完了的话，你这个大招的能量应该也好了。旁边的 NPC 在帮我们进行射击，但是他们造成的伤害很少，不能太指望，主要还是靠我们自己。这个电击的范围很大，比较难躲，即使是闪开了以后也会挨伤害。有的时候呢可以利用高台，但是我们可以看到它这个高台是可以被破坏掉的，也不能太指望，尽可能多的造成伤害吧。变成了酸液模式了。如果能早一点射爆的话，让它进入冷冻模式的话，会好打很多。因为这个萌摇者它作为蛇形态的话，身体活动的范围非常大，冷冻弹打到地上的时候呢，还会有持续的冷冻效果。所以说打到地上的话，它的身体范围还会经常会受到这个冷冻的这个伤害，所以会有助于积累它的这个冷冻效果。不过酸液的话，虽然生效的慢，但是你整体上对它的伤害也是很可观的，所以只要拖得够久，还是可以打掉的。快死了，一剑被他捏碎了石头的箭射伤害给打到了。
hate those things. Regala went after Hikaru and Katalo. I gotta get to them.
Champion, get to the group.
酋长有危险，我们要去帮酋长。
Get to the chief.
这种情况也可以硬莽，就是怎么说呢？不用管酋长，直接去那个地下啊。但是呢，埃洛伊不会做这样的事情。主要如果要是放任这个叛军的话，叛军的势力增长的话，对埃洛伊以后的行动也会不利。
This isn't finished! I'll be back with everything I have! And all who stand with Hikaru will be run red.
At attention. You fought well. Proved yourself against enemies both metal and flesh. I name you all Marshal. Your first order is to secure the arena from any remaining rebels. Go. I failed. I should have finished Regala. But now she'll be back with more machines. Stronger than ever.
I'll do what I can to help.
No, you've done enough. Far more than our bargain called for. When we first met, you spoke of your true mission on which all depends. I wasn't certain if I believed you then. But I believe in you now. So leave me. And get to your task.
What will you do?
Tend to the wounds. What you need is there. Take it. Your deeds today will be remembered like those of the 10.
This is it. Either's below.
啊，原先玩的是以为底下又会有是一个遗迹宫殿什么之类的啊，没想到只要是它这里的博物馆终端机上操作就可以了。
Come on, Ether. Time to go home. Yes. Elizabeth Sobek. Alpha Prime.
Master override activated. Restoring ether subordinate function to original code.
Got it. Now to get this back to Gaia.
在从终端机这里离开的时候呢，外面的情形也变得不一样了。
The visions throughout the grove are different now. And this one, it just appeared. Is this your doing?
Visions have changed.
That's the one that inspired Chief Hikaru.
More testimony of the old ones.
Hear now the words that reunited a people. Following the tragic events of the war, Anne Faraday, the chief architect of the reconciliation effort, addressed a nation in need of hope.
If we look into the future, the lens of the recent past, our fears loom. Wars waged against machines, scarcity of food and water, storms that drive us from our homes. But true courage means facing those fears with conviction instead of cynicism. Leading the peacekeeping effort with these brave men and women, these marshals of the new Southwest, has strengthened my conviction that when we are united, we can overcome any threat. Join me. Join us in that conviction as we strive for a nation and a world without want or war.
Reporting for duty, Commander. I'm coming with you.
But Hikaru needs you.
Because of you, he has new marshals. And a rallying cry the clans cannot ignore. So I will stand with you on your mission. Give whatever is left of my life. It is what I choose.
How can I say no to that? Zoe, there's someone who wants to join us. I need you to meet him in the foothills and guide him the rest of the way.
Will do, Aloy.
Go to the mountains, west of Plainsong. A friend of mine will meet you on the ascent. I'll join you when I can.
A friend of yours? Should be interesting.
好，我们获得了这个以太的 AI 之后呢，我们现在回到我们的盖亚基地。我们又多了一位同伴是吧？回去基地看看，和小伙伴们对对话啊，会有很多有意思的对话内容啊，不知道大家会不会喜欢？反正我是挺喜欢的，我觉得听他们对话特别有意思。除此之外呢，博物馆这里的其他的这个展览影像啊，也都恢复了，因为以太不占有他们的这个计算的机能了。把修复好的这些影像呢，都看一遍的话，会作为文档收集元素啊。不过呢，都不是什么重要的信息了。我们现在去回基地和大家聊一聊。看这个有感叹号的这个图标呢，都是有一些支线性质的对话啊，但是呢，因为都集中在基地这里啊，其实一起看一看还是挺有意思的啊。问问他们近况如何啊，小伙伴们怎么样啊？你最近干了些什么这样的？
Like this? Oh, you're not waving a hammer around, Aaron. Try a gentler touch.
And my big sausage fingers don't really do gentle, okay?
Bring it back. Trace the line to your right. Other right.
I just saw it. It's the one Aloy found up north. Gotcha. They call it a concussion beat party or something. Yeah, now that's music.
Aloy! Aaron.
赶紧关掉。
And you're here.
Varl said you might need some help after all, doing complicated things.
We still have much training to do, of course. One does not become hunter in a day.
Each seed grows at a pace of its own. Doesn't mean it won't bloom. You should know your Tanakh friend arrived.
Katalo.
I heard their warriors drink people's blood. I want to sleep with one eye open.
I think he's seen enough blood for a lifetime.
I showed him to one of the rooms. He seems to appreciate the privacy.
Looks like you've got things under control. I should get this to Gaia.
Right. We'll keep on training. Catch up as fast as we can.
I'm seeing glyphs in my dreams already.
Well, while you've been off gallivanting around, I've been working with Gaia to find out more about the land gods. So from where I'm standing, you're in need of some training. Come along.
Okay. Oh, and I delivered your message to Talana. She headed for that Oseram camp you two were looking for, to the southwest. Did you know there used to be a rainforest so big the old ones called it the lungs of the planet?
That sounds lovely.
Yeah. They burned it to the ground at some point.
Oh.
But they helped bring part of it back in Sobek's time.
That's good to hear. I wonder if it grew back after Zero Dawn. Wherever it is.
I'd like to think so.
这个游戏就是故事设定很有意思，然后听他们讲的话，了解这个世界的情况。
Yeah, and Gaia placed all the data she got from your focus into that archive room. With the focuses you gave us, we'll be able to access it at our own pace. You know, learn and train. And if you need us, we'll be there to fight at your side.
Got it. Thanks, Varl. I'm guessing you've spoken with Katalo?
I wanted to pay my respects for those who fell when we were ambushed at the embassy. Told him I'd never seen anyone throw themselves at a machine like he did. He said a warrior shouldn't be praised for fulfilling their duty. For a second I thought I was talking to my mother. Never thought a Tanakh and a Nora war chief could have so much in common.
I'm guessing Talana didn't stay for long?
You got that right. Makes you wonder what this Amadis guy did to grab her attention.
Whatever it was, she didn't tell me.
Must be quite a story.
I guess she'll tell us when she's ready. How's everyone handling their focus?
And we all have our difficult moments. Erend definitely curses the most. But I'm hoping Oseram's stubbornness prevails.
How's everyone doing?
Just taking it all in. No one snapped their bowstrings yet.
How's, training with Cell?
You know we really are training. Mostly. Look, she reads glyphs faster than I can already. I'd be a fool to refuse her help.
Of course. You guys reading something over there?
We just finished going through all the logs you collected back in Nora territory, and All Mother Mountain. It's hard to imagine that my ancestors were trapped inside, without the knowledge from Apollo to guide them.
Thanks to Ted Faro.
Yeah. I wonder how it must have felt when they were finally free. The world must have seemed so beautiful.
Not to mention terrifying. They weren't much more than kids.
And they became an entire tribe.
Looks like I was wrong about the Zeniths. Their ship didn't explode on its way to Sirius like everyone thought.
And we saw how they lied about creating a better future at their launch facility. Guess they lied about what happened to their ship, too. But still, a tribe settling amongst the stars.
I couldn't put a single dent in their shields, Varl. That one Zenith almost killed me.
That didn't stop you from resurrecting Gaia. Won't stop us from using Hephaestus against them.
Let's hope that's enough. Think you can hold the fort while I'm gone?
If Erend stops listening to the same music over and over again, maybe. We'll be fine.
艾伦德真的是一个搞笑角色，特别风趣，足智多谋。
Hey.
Hey.
A nice place.
Well, it's not like I built it or anything.
Right. Well, I can see why you had your doubts about bringing us along. It is a lot to take in. But, don't worry. There's nothing I can't handle.
Right. How are you settling in?
Varl's been helping me get the lay of the land, when he's not getting all tongue-tied. I don't know who makes him more nervous, that Gaia lady or our new Utaru friend.
What about the Vanguard? Aren't you supposed to be back east, ordering them around?
I sent some of them back to Meridian with a message. I doubt Avad will mind me sticking around to help the savior of Meridian.
So, you've met our new Tanakh friend.
He's, quiet. I thought his people were supposed to be bloodthirsty maniacs.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you trust him, so do I.
So, Talana came by the base?
Yeah, more like rushed through. I was hoping she'd stay for a drink at least. Only Carja I've ever met who's any fun. But it seemed like she had more pressing matters to attend to.
I see Varl gave you a focus.
Well, it doesn't look as fashionable on me, but by the Forge, the things I've been able to see. Granted, a lot of them are bad, you know, the old world ending and such. I'm still trying to wrap my head around most of it, but I never really understood how you were ever able to find my sister back in the Sundom. And now I do, sort of. It makes me feel like I could be useful, you know?
It takes some time, but yeah. I guess you know what we're up against by now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When Varl first told me those bastards come from the stars, I thought he'd eaten too many of those medicinal berries. Yeah, but I've gotten used to seeing impossible things, thanks to you. I just wish they weren't always trying to kill us.
Yeah, you and me both. I should get going.
I just keep practicing with this thing.
Varl looks happy about his training partner.
Learning is best done together.
Have you gone back to Plainsong at all?
I thought about it, but I wouldn't know what to tell them. The chorus already thinks me a thorn in the thicket. If they knew what we did to Fa, even if they understood, there'd be little they could grasp about all this. No. For now, I must leave the tribe behind.
So, how does a tribe like the Utaru manage to maintain the peace with warriors like the Tanakh?
By holding them off. When our fields bloomed aplenty, the Tanakh looked upon our lands with envy. But Plainsong's dishes provided sanctuary and high ground to keep invaders at bay. In the end, even the Tanakh saw sense in a truce. The Utaru promised to provide the Tanakh with food from our crops every year. In exchange, the Tanakh would relinquish one of their own, a veteran, to train the Utaru in combat. This custom was abandoned a few years after the derangement. But some veterans still remain in the plains.
I've been meaning to ask, what's the deal with you and the chorus? You didn't seem to be on the best of terms.
That's what happens when you're the one Utaru who insists on publicly defying them. Twice. When the Carja invaded the Utaru plains, they did more than just attack our villages. They burned our fields, took our people as slaves, and murdered those who were too weak to make the trip back to Meridian.
To be sacrificed in the Sun Ring.
I was helping the healers back then, as waves of refugees swarmed into Plainsong. The chorus was divided in how to face the invaders. Some saw sense in raising arms. Others believed the dishes would keep us safe, as they had many times before. And while they bickered, I buried the seeds of the fallen.
It couldn't have been easy. Seeing your people suffer while the Carja invaded your lands.
I come from a small village near Plainsong. My grandmother used to say there was no seed that wouldn't grow there. I moved to the dishes when I decided to apprentice as a healer. When the Red Raids began, I thought about going back. But the injured kept pouring into Plainsong, day after day. So I kept putting it off. One day, I woke up to hear a Karja raiding party had ransacked my village during the night. I rushed there with the healers to help the survivors, but there weren't any left. The smell of burning flesh haunts me to this day.
I'm sorry, Zoe.
I made it a point to appear before the chorus as soon as we returned, to demand that we take a stand against the invaders. I was denied. So I left to fight on my own.
You said you set out to fight the Karja alone?
I did. But it turned out I wasn't the only one. News of my disagreement with the chorus spread through the plains. Before I knew it, I had more than a dozen Utaru warriors ready to follow me into battle. We knew we couldn't take on the Karja armies head-on, but we also knew the lay of the land better than they did. We ambushed smaller raiding parties, sabotaged their supply lines, and hit their encampments at night.
Sounds like you were a force to be reckoned with.
Enough that the Tenakth took notice. When the clans began to push the Karja back east, they let us join their ranks. We chased the enemy all the way to Barren Light.
You said you were at Barren Light when the Tenakth defeated the Karja?
Tenakth marshals climbed the cliffs of the Daunt under cover of night, then attacked from the other side. Before we knew it, the gates were open, and the full force of the clans burst through. What happened next was not something I like to remember. When all the dust and blood settled, I smelled it again. The stench of burnt flesh. Our enemies defeated. What was left of my squad returned to the Utaru Plains. I went back to Plainsong. But even as the harvest passed, it didn't feel like I'd truly returned at all.
Is that when you became a grave singer?
I thought soothing the suffering of others would somehow appease my own. Then you came along and gave me a choice. I could either sing at people's graves or fight for a chance to keep them alive.
I'm glad you chose the latter. Sounds like you met my friend Talana.
Yes, the Karja Huntress. I haven't seen armor like hers since the Red Raids, but Varl tells me that she too suffered at the hands of the Mad Sun King.
Yeah, she's one of the good ones. Trust me. You've spoken with Kotallo?
A few words. Tenakth don't have much use for us outsiders. You must have made quite the impression for him to offer his fealty.
So you've been talking to Gaia?
Yes. She was kind enough to take me through some of the history of the Old Ones, including their demise and the heroic actions of her creator, Elizabeth Sobek. I was surprised to see she was you. Past, but reborn? Not that I claim to understand how.
You've been getting to know Erend, I assume?
Of course. Any friend of Varl's is a friend of mine. In this case, a very loud friend.
What are you up to?
Gaia was kind enough to put together a list of glyphs used by the Old Ones. She helped me decipher some of the data you've collected, and showed me how to use the focus to help the process. It's not easy, but it's been working so far.
That's good to hear. see you've settled in.
Gaia did say this place was built for us, so we could regain control of our lands with her terraforming system. Nurture them like the land gods do Plainsong's fields. It does strike me as odd that a place of life should have so much metal.
Did Gaia tell you anything about the Zeniths?
She did, though it wasn't exactly easy to believe. To think that there are places among the stars where life can bloom as it does here, it is humbling, to say the least, and heartbreaking that such life should be bent on destroying ours.
Right, I should probably go.
I shall return to our training then.
我们这次回来之后呢，各个房间原先都是空着的啊，现在呢被他们装饰的也跟原先不一样了。可以都看一看啊，这里一点一点都在变化，随着这个剧情的推进，大家也在改进的这里的设施。
Looks like this room's changed. Is that your doing, Gaia?
Yes. I have repurposed the displays to track the cauldrons you have acquired data from.
Interesting.
这边机械生物的操控，我暂时还不打算针对性的收集，我们还是以这个推进故事剧情为主啊。如果说是遇到了强敌没有办法再打过的时候呢，我才会再回头考虑要强化或者学习什么。
Aloy,
it's good to see you. I'm guessing you've got a lot of questions.
I've been told of our enemy and their intentions. Your friends showed me to the vision you keep in this place. Gaia, and gave me this focus. I don't pretend to fully understand everything, but all I really need to know is where to train and when to fight.
Welcome to the team, then. You've had some time with the team now. Any thoughts?
I admit I was surprised to see Nutaru here. Farmers don't make for effective soldiers.
I'm told she rallied some in her tribe against the Karja, and fought all the way to Barren Light.
Interesting. Perhaps I am mistaken.
What are you looking at over there?
The others have been helping me decipher the symbols the focus shows me. So, I thought I'd try to understand the weapon you intend to use against the enemy. This Hephaestus. It will be able to make machines? That answer to Gaia?
Yes.
How many?
As many as we need.
Such power. Has the world ever seen the like?
You said the Bulwark was your home a long time ago. That you were part of the Sky Clan.
Yes.
That's all you're gonna tell me?
Fine. As you wish. My parents were killed in a clan skirmish, so I was raised by my squad. As I grew older, I came to be known as an accomplished fighter. Tekote took a special interest in me. I fought by his side against the Karja, and led my squad on a dangerous climb into the Daunt. It was I who opened the gates at Barren Light, from the east side, allowing the Tenakth to raise it.
That must have gotten you some attention.
Indeed. I was welcomed home as a hero, and I was content.
Then why'd you leave?
I became a marshal.
Why did you leave the Sky Clan to become a marshal?
I was sent to the Kulrut by Tekote. Back then, I would have obeyed his every order. I believed in him, like one would a father. I was too blind to see the fear in his eyes. Fear of a rising young warrior challenging his command of the clan. I returned a hero from the battle at Barren Light. But to him, I was only a threat. Never occurred to him that I had no interest in rising above my station.
Why did Tekote think you wouldn't be a threat to him if he sent you to the Kulrut?
Tekote knew that if I survived the Kulrut, I'd be forced to forsake the clan to serve the Tenakth as a whole. I'd never be allowed to challenge his command. even if I wanted to. After our victory at Barren Light, Tekote spoke to our people, said it would be selfish to rob Hikaru and the marshals of a warrior like myself, even though he knew perfectly well I had no intention of ever leaving. It was exile, guised as an honor. One he knew I couldn't refuse. So I became a marshal, and never looked back.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I am not. Though it pained me at the time, a marshal is what I was destined to be.
When we were at the bulwark, the guard said something about the wings of the 10. Hikaru also mentioned it at the cool route. Dekka, too. What does it mean?
The visions tell us that the 10 flew on great metal machines with wings, and leapt into battle from the sky. For us, to imitate this feat is the ultimate expression of martial prowess, and it is why the challengers leap into the arena during the cool route. Many times I imagined it as a child. The feeling of freedom, and the awe it must have inspired.
What did Chief Hikaru say when you told him he'd be joining me here?
You spilt rebel blood at the Grove, and helped reunite the clans. There was little more to be said. He understood.
Well, I'm honored he lent me his best marshal. At least for a little while.
Indeed.
Now that you know who the enemy is, do you have any questions?
I'll admit, I find them hard to grasp. From the heavens. And invulnerable.
For now.
I will leave the strategy to you. I trust you will point my blade where it will cut the deepest.
I should go. Feel free to check in on Hikaru and your people. Door's always open here.
I will. May the 10 walk with you.
这里现在除了操控设施，然后还有这个工作台，然后旁边附近还有篝火啊，就是设施已经很齐全了，确实是一个基地的样子啊。往后还会再变化，然后按照这个情况往下看的话，应该还会越来越多的小伙伴。这样的情形发展下去，让人很期待后面的故事会怎么讲。这个无人这边有这个无人机模块，我们还没有解锁啊，所以查看了没有什么用。每次回来见盖亚都会有信息爆炸的阶段。
So, what did you want to discuss?
While you were away, I received an unusual transmission on my dedicated Aletheia frequency.
Aletheia. That's one of the sub-functions you couldn't detect before.
Yes. The transmission occurred so slowly that at first it seemed like an accidental blip of data amongst background static. Once I noticed this irregularity, it took some time to collate the complete message.
Coordinates. Where does it lead?
To a mountain to the northwest of this facility. A word of caution, Aloy. It is possible this transmission is genuine. It is also possible it is being broadcast by someone or something else.
You don't think it's actually Aletheia?
I am uncertain.
What's SOS?
It is an old-world code. A distress signal. A desperate plea for help.
Why would Aletheia send a coded transmission on a frequency only the two of you can communicate on?
I believe it was done as a precaution to avoid detection, or at least to create the appearance of the desire to do so. I am also uncertain why Eleuthia would expect that I would be able to detect and respond to its distress signal at all. As far as it is aware, I no longer function.
Okay, so either Eleuthia is in trouble and sent the message hoping you were out there, or someone else is trying to get us to go to these coordinates, pretending to be Eleuthia.
That is my conclusion as well.
Could the Zeniths be sending the transmission?
According to the data I reviewed on your focus, the Zeniths recovered the other Gaia root kernel in the Hades Proving Lab. It is feasible they used it to gain access to my internal frequencies.
So, maybe they sent it thinking you'd respond and reveal your location.
Possibly. However, the transmission is highly irregular. If they intended to provoke me into revealing myself, I would expect the communication to be more routine.
Right. So maybe it's not them then. You said the coordinates lead to a mountain to the northwest. What's there?
I have no record of anything of note in that vicinity.
Okay, and what about the other number in the message? 237. Any idea what that means?
I have queried my available databases, but it does not appear to have any significance. Perhaps its meaning can only be understood at the indicated coordinates.
All right, I'll go to the coordinates and check out the source of the transmission.
All by yourself? Ha! No way.
I included Erend and Varl in this briefing via their focuses. I concur that you should not investigate this alone.
What if it's a trap?
Of course it could be a trap. But if it really is Eleuthia, then it's in trouble, and I need to bring it back. Don't worry. I'll be careful and...
We're coming with you.
Fine. Go grab your things.
We'll wait for you at the west exit, in case you need to upgrade your gear.
Aloy.
That was sneaky of you, patching in Varl and Erend to our conversation.
I am pleased you accepted their help. Is there something you wish to discuss before you depart?
How's Kotallo doing?
I detect that the loss of his arm still deeply pains him, though he has not voiced his thoughts. I may be able to assist in his recovery, should he be interested.
Really? I'm sure he will be. How are things around here?
Zoe has been studying the morphology of her land gods, in an effort to understand their sickness. Without the abilities of Hephaestus, I am unfortunately unable to correct their programming. However, Zoe and I are hopeful we will find an alternative way to heal them.
Well, keep at it. Varl and Zoe seem to like spending time together.
Indeed. While studying Old World data, Zoe discovered references to a dietary lifestyle known as vegetarianism. She appreciated the similarities with Utaru practices and encouraged Varl to try out this lifestyle.
And how did that go?
I believe they have agreed to disagree.
How's Erend handling things?
He is becoming increasingly accustomed to use of the focus, after an initial incident.
What did he do?
He unfortunately crushed his first focus as he attempted to affix it to his temple. Amongst a number of Oseram curses, I believe he also blamed the focus for being dainty. He has given repeated assurances that it will not happen again.
Well, good thing we have a lot of extras, I guess. Gaia? What was Elizabeth like?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. The moment I came online, she was there. We exchanged greetings, names, then set to our task. It was the first of many conversations. I enjoyed being in her company, listening to her stories. She was my creator, my guide.
Your friend?
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate, though I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all of herself. The only one who could. Thanks, Gaia. So, Project Zero Dawn. The greatest minds in the world, all working to build the terraforming system while the Pharaoh Plague devoured the planet. What was it like?
Personnel worked in rotations, at all hours of the day. Resources and technology were secured from across the world. Within a month of the project's conception, I was launched and began my education. Elizabeth encouraged me to spend time with the rest of the Zero Dawn staff. She said it was important to experience many personalities and perspectives to aid in my emotional development.
What were they like?
Scared, hopeful, determined. They were hurtling toward technological achievements on a scale never before attempted. I owe everything to their dedication.
So the Hades Proving Lab, where I found the Gaia kernel. It used to be a Pharaoh research facility?
Yes. Prior to appropriation by Zero Dawn, the facility was used to engineer and test advanced computer viruses. It appears to have been one of many research initiatives by Pharaoh Automated Solutions.
I guess it wasn't enough to build automated killing machines. He wanted viruses to infect them with too. So, a while back, before the battle at Meridian, I went into Banuk territory. I discovered another AI there, one not related to Zero Dawn. Cyan. It was created to oversee operations for a volcanic stabilization project, and it spent the last 1,000 years in isolation. I'm guessing you didn't know about it?
No. From the data on your focus, it seems that Cyan was cut off from the outside world, an effort by its creators to protect it from the Pharaoh Plague.
Any chance it could help us now?
I have already attempted contact, with no success. Given its previous experience with accepting an outside network request, I imagine it is unwilling to do so again.
Right. Because last time Hephaestus enslaved it. Well, that's too bad. I think the two of you would have had a lot to talk about. The processor Ether was installed on was part of an ancient war museum. A memorial to something called the Hot Zone Crisis. Do you know anything about it?
My knowledge of historical events was unfortunately lost with the Apollo database. However, climate data indicates a peak in regional temperatures in the 2030s. Such conditions would see extreme, prolonged droughts, an increase in dust storms, and a loss of habitable landmass.
But they wouldn't have built a museum in the middle of a wasteland. So I guess things got better eventually.
Yes. Data suggests that temperatures returned to average levels in the clawback era of the 2040s.
There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark, buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh Plague, the US military resumed the use of human combatants, as automated machinery was unreliable. It is possible the vehicle was part of a pre-automated war fleet.
So they fought against the Pharaoh machines in the valley, until the mountain was blasted apart and buried them. So this facility, the Regional Control Center, it was meant to oversee the terraforming system?
For the local region, yes. Had humans received their education from the Apollo database, they would have then been guided here to assume operation. As that never happened, this place remained vacant.
Until Minerva decided to settle here. So I guess this room was meant to keep an eye on conditions outside?
Yes. From here, the facility's operators would have been able to observe weather and machine activity in real time.
That would have been quite a sight.
It may still be possible to view some of them, should you find and reconnect the cameras to this room's console.
I'll keep a lookout. You mentioned that the superstorms have subsided. Is that Ether at work?
Yes. Thanks to Ether's capabilities, weather patterns in the local region should mostly stabilize for the time being.
Well, that's a relief. Be nice not to have to fight my way through a storm anymore.
I will continue to stabilize the atmosphere for as long as I can.
Why did Ether take up residence in an ancient war museum?
As with the other subordinate functions, Ether needed to install itself on a processor with adequate storage and power. The one in the museum appears to have been sufficient, given that the holographic displays were still active.
So Ether was assured it could stay for as long as it needed to.
Correct. Though it is curious that it chose a place surrounded with the ancient ruins of aircraft.
Maybe it also felt at home there. So, Poseidon, what do we know about it?
Poseidon controls the organic and chemical composition of water resources. Once it is restored to me, I may be able to improve conditions in the regional watershed. But I must warn you, like the others, Poseidon is lost and frightened. It may have taken measures to protect itself.
I'll be careful. What can you tell me about Demeter?
Demeter sows, fertilizes, and tends to plant life.
So once I bring it back, all the blight out there will start to get better.
While permanent restoration requires the abilities of Hephaestus, I may be able to improve conditions in the region for a while. However, a word of warning. Like Ether and Poseidon, Demeter's response to my query was highly irregular. Alone and frightened, it may have taken measures to assure its security.
Okay.
这个问题虽然之前问过了，但是呢，就接下来这个问题虽然问过了，但是呢，因为回收了以太以后，他最后说的会不太一样。
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on the 2nd of February, 2066, by order of Ted Faro.
Faro, huh? I really hate that guy.
Understandable. He appears to have been pathologically narcissistic.
All three of the missing functions have already served their purpose, or were prevented from doing so. Do you still need them?
If attainable, yes. Restoring their remaining elements would increase my heuristic processing density. Perhaps you will be able to procure Eleuthia at the SOS coordinates. Artemis and Apollo, however, remain unaccounted for.
接下来我们重要的事情是调查那个这个求救信号啊是怎么回事啊？我们这个找人工智能的这个任务要先搁置一下，接下来有算是一件当务之急的事情。不过呢，出发之前呢，我们还是可以先看一下我们前面说这里改造的设施。
Good to know. I'll check it out when I can.
可以先去看一看。然后艾伦德和瓦尔在那里等我们，我们准备好了就去找他们就好。哦，还有地毯。
I see you found Varl and Zoe's room, Aloy. I believe they wanted private accommodations.
I see.
Aloy, there are more supplies in the chest. Help yourself.
这个补给箱子每次回来的话都会补充大量的资源啊，每次有的话就随便拿。
Holograms. Gaia, I thought you said the data here was lost.
I was able to repurpose the equipment to store the data you have acquired in your travels.
这里就像是资料收藏室，你在外界收藏的资料都会集中在这里。啊，有盖亚在，真的是一大助力。这边是洗浴室和休息室，不知道还能不能用啊？看起来好像是他们没有打算用这里。
Looks like Arendt and Katalo moved their stuff in.
看他们自己的细卷全搬到这儿来了。
Looks like I can open that door now.
哎，这里是什么地方
Gaia, what was this room for?
This was intended to be a recreational room for control center operatives. Unfortunately, the entertainment modules were lost with the Apollo database.
Oh, that's too bad.
那如果哪天恢复了阿波罗，是不是这里就可以玩了？在游戏里面打游戏。看看隔壁，这个还开不了，看来得以后再来。哎，这里是给艾洛伊自己的房间。
Aloy, I see you found your room. Your companions thought you would appreciate a private space of your own.
That was thoughtful of them.
这里放了很多艾洛伊的纪念品啊，饱含着他的各种回忆。可以调查一下的话，就可以看这个艾洛伊会有表达一点想法。
But since we're gonna stay a while, I think I'll keep it here, where it'll be safe. My old spear. Rust helped me make it when I finished my training.
这是1代的时候的那个长矛。
Feels like so long ago now. This is the rite of passage that Vishav gave me at the embassy. I liked him. He seemed like a good man.
大家都以为当时法夏夫是个重要角色，没想到当即说完话就领便当了。
When I met Hikaru, I figured he was just another bloodthirsty warlord. Vishav was right. Hikaru wants peace. It won't be easy. But with his new marshals, maybe his vision has a chance.
回顾之前发生的事情，1代也有这样的情节，不是给这个 Rost 的扫墓，就是这个艾洛伊的养父。
After the Hades proving lab, I thought I saw Rost. I don't think he'd understand any of this, or what I have to do. But still, wish he was here.
又伤感了起来啊！看起来艾洛伊这么强大，都是有罗斯特教导的好。
And Gaia put all of her faith in me. If I can do it all, recover the subfunctions, defeat Forzenith, heal the world, I'd like to think Elizabeth would be proud.
好，接下来我们要去找艾伦德和瓦尔去探查那个求救信号的来源是什么。不过呢，那就是下期的内容。我们这期视频就到这里，我是黑桐谷歌，欢迎大家关注我的账号，大家拜拜。